Welcome to Tanisha's Locks Beauty Tips and Potpourri. I hope that y'all are feeling beautiful today. I hope that you are feeling passionate. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. I think I'm talking about something that is very, very important that has to do with delayed gratification with regard to your locks. Whatever type of
Tanisha's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the Am Melanin MAGIC brand. Thank you for stopping by.
Whatever type of small lock you have or medium-sized lock you have, it is so important to be aware of some things that you might be seeking in the short term that could actually create problems for you in the long term. That's what we're going to be talking about today up in here. Are you tired of struggling with hair growth and thinning strands? Release the magic in your locks and tresses with Am Melanin MAGIC hair oils. A premium blend of all natural ingredients strengthens, restores, and revitalizes your hair for maximum health and growth. Don't let thinning hair
Straightened hair
brand. Upgrade your hair care game today. Am Melanin MAGIC hair oils. Don't forget we have free shipping all summer. We've added new items to the website and we're also on Amazon. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, this is a beautiful journey to be on. I would be the last person to talk about regrets. This has been the most beautiful journey of my life. I believe I'm going into the 16th year, and I would not turn back to even look at the people back there who are still questioning whether or not this is a good decision. I'm continuing to move ahead, okay? And this has brought me to a beautiful place in my life. It's made my life easy. I'm all about ease. I'm all about being in situations that do not offer up resistance. I don't need a whole lot of maintenance. And as you've heard me talk about here on the channel too many times, the tyranny of hair enslavement, okay? The enslavement of hair tyranny. All of those things go together. And what happens is you end up being in a situation where it's taking too much to maintain your hair. So when you've decided to matriculate into this journey here with small locks, microlocks, sister locks, it's so important that you don't get caught up in the short-term gratification and the things that feel good and look good in the first early years of the journey, because it's those very things that can jeopardize the longevity of your journey as well as the health of your journey, and can determine whether or not you get to a point and you decide, I don't think I'm going to be able to continue in this journey. So when you are enjoying this journey, okay, what makes you enjoy the journey is less hair care responsibility. Usually, for sure, in the beginning, someone else is doing your hair. You look good all the time. You're on fleek, okay? The parts are straight. The hair is doing what it needs to do and you get to go. You can now worry about your face and your clothes and whatever other more important things that you have to worry about in your life. So when we are maintaining our locks in the early years, we really don't think about, and that's because we don't have to. It's only necessity that is the mother of invention. We don't think about how some of the things that we are doing that feel good to us could be the very things that could jeopardize us down the road. This message is not going to apply to everyone, okay? But this message will, at some point in your journey, apply to a significant percentage of people, which is somewhere upwards of, I'm going to say, well, significant majority is usually 75% statistically speaking. I'm going to say upwards of 90% of people. And that is keeping your locks healthy and making the kind of decisions that you need to make that will ensure that you go through this journey scar-free or with as little collateral damage as possible. Now, I'm an individual who came into this journey with healthy hair, okay? I have always considered my hair not thin, but about medium density. I've never considered my hair high density. If it were not for the Sisterlocks, while I had healthy hair, I had thin hair along the sides. I had thinner hair towards the very back. The thicker part of my hair is like most of you all, sort of right in the center and the upper sides. But even still, I had a head of hair that could kind of withstand quite a bit. I used to do a ton of different things to my hair, all right? And so I consider myself having a head of hair where I can take a few risks with. Now, there are some things that I cannot take. I cannot bleach my hair. I couldn't before I got it locked. I have enough sense to know I can't do it after I'm locked. But generally speaking, I have to really be doing some things to create problems with my hair. So I say that to give you a frame of reference. And I'm going to say it just like this. If I'm doing something that is impacting my hair and your hair is about as dense as mine and you see yourself in my head of hair, then if you have hair that is less than this, you need to be particularly careful. Now, those people who have hair density that is a lot thicker than mine and have hair that it can take a lot more, this may not necessarily apply to you until you are far, far, far later in your journey. And that is the things that we do that make us look good when we're on this journey, but we pay the price for later simply because they are repetitive actions. Repetitive actions I'm talking about here. Things that put you at risk in terms of what's going to be best for your hair. Pause. I've got to adjust the lighting. This is an early morning video, and so it's not doing what it needs to do. All right, so we do a lot of things. I've always spoken of this journey as an at-risk journey, simply because of the things that I noticed with my hair along the road, and also the things that I noticed with a lot of you on this channel that have been on this channel for a long time, and those of you who got the help you needed from this channel and have since matriculated. I've listened to your stories. I've listened to your insight. In fact, as you all know, that was one of the many motivators for me developing the Magical Hair Growth Serum to help remediate some of the hair loss, some of the problems, some of the thinning, and to give you some option that may either complement what you are doing or be the sole solution for some of you. And what that took was for me to look at my own hair over the years, pay attention to what I was seeing, and to begin to put two and two together from an analytical standpoint and draw some very simple conclusions. Okay, which is one of the reasons why I began to, encourage all of you to pay attention to what is going on with your hair. I was trying to get my baby up here. She wasn't coming. The at-risk things that we do, I've also always referred to them as at-risk. Okay, because they put you at risk, they put the health of your hair at risk, and they put the longevity of your journey at risk. And these are just things that you don't want to have to deal with them when they come or when they happen or when you begin to notice the signs. In particular because you love the style, but even more because you become invested in it over time, over many, many years. And I'm here to tell you that it will happen to you at some point down the line if you're not careful. And I am simply here to remind you of the things that you need to do that will support your journey and that require delayed gratification. Some of the simple things you need to be mindful of, especially after you get past year 2 and 3. Okay, but it can continue all the way up to where you are with me and beyond, depending upon what your patterns have been with regard to maintaining your locks and what you're doing on a regular basis. And what I'm talking about today are things that have less to do with how often you shampoo, the kind of products you may be putting on your hair, what is going on with your routine as it relates to exercise and things like that. Those things are important. Diet, water intake, those things are critical. Whether or not you're going through hormonal changes, stress, pregnancy, menopause, postmenopause, those things are important as well. But what I'm getting ready to talk to you about is more important than all of those things, because it can be the series of things that can ultimately jeopardize your entire journey, and that has to do with maintenance. First and foremost, the frequency at which you do your retightnings. The frequency at which you do your retightnings may be more frequent in the beginning, not just because of your growth cycle, but because of the preferences of your loctician and the installation requirements and the need to check in on you and see how your hair is developing. And that makes sense. But if you are feeling as though you're going in too often to get your retightenings and your hair does not really require that. Remember when we used to get the relaxers, we needed a certain amount of new growth, right? Before we then traumatize the hair again. It's not that much different when you're dealing with locks, when you're dealing with Sisterlocks and Microlocks, because your hair needs time to rest in between the hair stress and what can what can eventually become hair trauma. Your hair needs time to rest, it needs time to bounce back, and it needs time to heal. And so does your scalp, to be honest with you, okay? So the frequency I've noticed over the 15, 16 years that I've had these locks has gone from what used to be a regular 6 to 8 week average, which was actually too frequent for me. I ended up between 10 and 12 weeks very easily, and my hair grows, to me, fast, as long as I'm doing what I need to do with it. 6 to 8 weeks used to be average. Now I'm hearing 4 to 6 weeks. I even had a lady tell me not so far in the past, she was being recommended to move from a 4-week to a 2-week. Okay, and what I'm here to say is if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Period. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Okay, doesn't mean that your loctician doesn't know what she's talking about, because whatever she's telling you is what she thinks is best and is being motivated, hopefully, by what is for your highest good. But it's not the only option for you. It's not the only thing that your hair can do. And it's not the only piece of advice that you have to listen to. I want you to listen to yourself, and I want you to pay careful attention to your hair, because I've always championed inspecting what you expect. Okay, and in this case, it means paying attention to what is going on with your hair, even if you have an individual who is taking care of your hair for you and an individual who you have entrusted with your investment. It doesn't mean that you go in and just sit in the chair and chill and you read a book or you watch some games on the TV or some news, or you chat and you talk it up the whole time. No, that's not what those sessions need to be about. At least the first part of the session, and intermittently throughout the session, you need to be checking in with her if she doesn't naturally check in with you. And many locticians don't naturally just check in with you and give you the full scope of what they are seeing as they stand over your head with a 360-degree view. One that you oftentimes don't have, not because you can't have it, but because you may not be taking the time to inspect what's going on with each and every lock, or what's going on with certain sections of your hair, or what's going on with your hair as a whole. So the frequency of your retightnings, okay? I still would say for the average person, 7 to 9 weeks would be likely ideal, and most people can easily manage that. Now, is that the only thing you need to be concerned about? No, because you also have to deal with the quality of your retightening. The quality of your retightening as in the tension that is being used, okay, the number of rotations that you may be requiring or that your loctician may be putting in your hair for various reasons. And there are a litany of other things which I'll be talking more about in my ebook, which hopefully will be done in the forthcoming months. You guys know I've been a publishing maniac over the last year, and I'm finishing up my journey in the conscious love and the 7 spiritual love languages for my relationship coaching program. I've been coaching for almost 15 years, or if I count all of my time in working with women, and those things require a lot of my time, and I'm pushing and birthing this book. And so I haven't had the time to shift and to finish that ebook, but it is very important, and I am going to finish it because too many women are not paying attention to the things that we're doing on a regular basis that are creating alopecia that is not based on hormones, that is creating stress on the hair, various inflammation of the scalp types of conditions. So we need to just be aware. But the quality of your retightening is critical. What kind of tension is that individual using? All right. What is the number of rotations? Are they trying to get it so tight to your scalp that it's painful when you get up and leave, or even before you get up and leave, or in the most misleading of cases, a day or two after you've had the retightening? What does your level of comfort or the lack thereof reveal about the quality of your retightening? When it's time for you to get your retightening, is this person mowing through your hair like a tractor trailer? Are they moving so fast? Are they just, very expeditiously or very ungently opening up your hair and detangling? There's some locticians that when they retighten your hair, it's a very uncomfortable situation. And it's not just about the actual rotation. It's about everything they do before they actually start to retighten the lock. Everything they do to detangle it, whether or not they use a little bit of spray water, whether or not they go through your whole hair and detangle it gently, whether or not they're using oil for slide and glide, whether or not they're asking you or requiring you to do some pre-retightening types of things. There's a lot to be considered with the quality of your retightening, and it's very, very important. So when we talk about these things that you're doing on a regular basis, these are the things that you need to pay attention to. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this particular video today has to do with communication of concerns when it comes to what is going on with your hair. You want to know what's happening with your hair. If it requires that you ask your loctician, ask your loctician. If she's not someone who's forthcoming, if she's not someone who's a talker, all right? You want to know and you want to feel like you're dealing with an individual that is invested in your hair, all right? And when you're invested in your clients and you're invested in your customers, you check on them, not just when it's time to get a retightening. You talk to them about concerns, not just when it's time to resolve a problem, but you have conversations around preventive measures or preventive maintenance. You have a lot of things that you will intercourse with your clients about when you care about and are invested in what is going on with their hair. If you're someone that is just there to collect money, if you're someone who's just there to make it look good for the moment, and after you do retightenings, you put in all these sophisticated cornrow styles and all these updos to put more stress on the hair and crack the follicles, and I'm exaggerating. But then you're not going to be as invested or as forthcoming when concerns begin to grace your doorstep, and as they inevitably will, your doorstep. So these are the things that are really important. Were there any locks that needed to be married? Is there something else that you think I need to be doing with regard to my maintenance? How easy was it for you to work on my hair today? Was my hair tangled? Was it not clean? Are there any concerns that you're noticing with regard to my scalp? In terms of your evaluation, how am I moving along in this journey? What phase am I in, and what can I expect moving forward? Is there anything that you'd like to tell me with regard to what's happening with my hair? Are there any suggestions that you have? Are there any things that you feel that I am neglecting or not doing that are going to create problems for me down the line? These are just some of the questions that you want to ask your loctician. The bottom line is delaying your gratification so that long term you can experience the ultimate gratification with this journey is going to be more important than focusing on the short-term things that feel good, as in how straight is my grid, as in can you see my scalp, as in is it tight enough to my scalp so that I don't have to revisit her again to get my locks retightened. All of these things that are important on the journey, and I really get it, but long term, I can promise you, those will be the things that will be of least importance to you. Stay tuned for the next video. Okay, I'm going to be getting into pre-tightening concerns, pre-retightening concerns, and things that you're going to want to be doing prior to getting your retightenings. If you're someone that is either do-it-yourself or you're someone that's relying on a loctician, I love you guys. I want to thank you for all of your support over the years. Thank you for your continued dropping in, pop-ups, and so forth and so on. Make sure you keep an eye on the community posts, because when important things are going on, when there are sales, or when there are other updates, that you might want to know about that I don't always come on and do a video regarding, you'll have an idea. But I'm pretty much on a 1 day a week posting schedule now, usually on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm going to be working extra hard to keep up with that posting schedule. If you are having concerns with your locks, go to the IamMelaninMagic.com website, set up an appraisal, get some advice, get some customized solutions, and we'll go from there. Love to you. Appreciate you.